Welcome to Jannat Learning's digital class. This video is for the virtual university course Business Mathematics and Statistics, MTH 302. Lecture 45 Additional. Second lesson about some useful functions of Excel. We hope you will find this informative and helpful. Please subscribe to Jannat Learning if you haven't already. Your feedback will highly be appreciated. These are slightly different while implications. The count function counts the number of cells that contain numbers, and counts numbers within the list of arguments. For example, you can enter the following formula to count the numbers in the range A1 to A20 equals count A1 to A20, logical values and text representations of numbers that you type directly into the list of arguments are counted. The countif function counts cells containing any type of information, including error values and empty text. For example, if the range contains a formula that returns an empty string, the countif function counts that value. Use countif, one of the statistical functions, to count the number of cells that meet a criterion. In its simplest form, countif says, equals countif, where do you want to look? What do you want to look for? Here is list that values are included in the count function A4, a 5, then a 8 that is date value, a 10, a 11, 12 and a 13. Here is list that values are not included in count. A 6 you see this is not numeric, A7 this is also not number. A 9 this is time value not a number. Only the non-blank cell. All cell be counted if there is some entry. In countif there are two arguments. One is where do you want to look? And second part is what do you want to look for? On this basis, we check the working of the function of count cells in a range based on a single condition with countif. We have data of salesperson's name Amir, Sohail etc., and invoices with different amounts. First, we put the criteria number of entries for Amir, and we put the name as constant and text, and see the result. I and the second test, put the criteria reference cell, and see the result. And working for numeric comparison operators. Criterion binomial returns the smallest value for which the cumulative binomial distribution is greater than or equal to a criterion value. For example, use critbinom to determine the greatest number of defective parts that are allowed to come off an assembly line run without rejecting the entire lot. Example scenario is that a factory produces light bulbs, and they want to know how many bulbs they need to test to be 95% confident that the defect rate is below 5%. Solution using critbinom. Trials, N100, the number of bulbs to be tested. Probability of success. 0.05, the probability of a defective bulb. Alpha, criterion value 0.95, the desired confidence level. Calculation. Using the critbinom function, you would input these values to get the minimum number of defective bulbs that would still allow you to accept the batch at the 95% confidence level. dB function returns the depreciation of an asset for a specified period using the fixed declining balance method, its syntax, is that .db cost, salvage, life, period, month. The db function's syntax has the following arguments. Cost, the initial cost of the asset. Salvage, the value at the end of the depreciation, sometimes called the salvage value of the asset. Life period. The number of periods over which the asset is being depreciated, sometimes called the useful life of the asset. Period. The period for which you want to calculate the depreciation. Period must use the same units as life. Month optional. The number of months in the first year. If month is omitted, it is assumed to be 12.
जन्नत लर्निंग डिजिटल क्लास में शिरकत का शुक्रिया। हमारा मिशन आपको तालीमी कामयाबी में मदद करना, आपके तालीमी सफ़र को हमवार और खुशगवार बनाना और आज के लिए जामे हल, मददगार वसाइल और माहिराना रहनुमाई फराहम करना है। हमारे कंटेंट में स्टडी की तजावीज़, इम्तिहान की तैयारी, इसकी हिकमत अमली, कोर्स के जायज़ा और बहुत कुछ शामिल है। सीखने वालों की हौसला अफजाई के लिए हमारी कम्युनिटी में शामिल हूँ। आइए मिलकर तालीमी जिद्दत की दुनिया को फतेह करें। बाकायदा अपडेट्स और कीमती इंसाइट के लिए जन्नत लर्निंग को सब्सक्राइब करें।